Good morning and welcome to the Isn't It Time Facebook Live show today. I am exceptionally excited to be bringing this particular Facebook Live to you today. It's something that I have been working on for a number of months, and over this last period of time, this particular topic has come up over and over and over again. And we've done a Facebook Live before. Good morning, everybody. We've done a Facebook Live before on purpose today. Good morning, Debbie. Lovely to have you here. We've done a Facebook Live. Morning, Sam. Morning, Sandy. Must be chilly out at Charleville this morning. My goodness. I went for a quick walk. I was lying in bed this morning. It was really comfortable and cozy. And I knew it was going to be cold outside, but well, you know. Morning, Kathy. Lovely to have you here again. Yes, well, it's cold here, but probably not on your terms. It was about, I think, 10 degrees when I walked this morning. And I must admit, I ran most of the way because it was very cold. So I hope wherever you are, it's lovely. And you're either having a cup of tea, you might be having a glass of wine if you're somewhere else in the UK, or if you're in North America, you might be finishing work. I'm in the bath. It's freezing. Oh my goodness, don't drop your phone. Oh, holy moly. Oh, yeah, it must be cold out there. It's very dry this morning. So we certainly haven't had it like the southern states have, but yeah, I did. I walked very, very briskly. In fact, I started off running. And you know when that kind of cold wind hits your face and you, okay, I'm awake now. But interesting enough, didn't see any of my friends this morning. None of the people I usually, say morning to were out this morning. But yeah, certainly going to be beautiful. But that's the power of habit, isn't it? I just got up. I was doing some meditation. I thought, just get up and go. Saturday morning's always a bit quick for me. I have to be up and at 'em very early. Right, back to what we were talking about. We're going to talk today about how you can monetize your purpose without losing your soul in the process. Now, we've done a Facebook Live a number of weeks ago, I think maybe 6 weeks ago, on purpose. What's your purpose? And it's something I'm really passionate about helping people not only find their purpose, but actually create businesses or careers or ways that you can express through it. Now, I don't know if you're noticing this, but we are going through, I believe, a massive change in our world at the moment. We've got big institutions who are being taken to task. They've never been taken to task before. Here in Australia, we have a banking royal commission going on. And some of the stories are just horrifying that this has been going on for this long. And of course, we have the Royal Commission to Child Sexual Abuse, where many of our the stalwart institutions have been taken to task. You're seeing it everywhere. Politicians being taken to task. And you're also seeing the rise of people stepping up. Look what's happening with those young teenagers in the US in the morning. Morning, Louise. Lovely to have you here. What's going on with the young teenagers in the US? They are saying, you know what? We're not going to put up with this anymore. We're going to make some changes. And I believe, and I'll just say, I believe it's happening through us, not to us. And is now more than ever, this is the time to begin to step up and express your soul's purpose. Every single one of these people, and especially you guys who show up every week on these Facebook Lives, you in particular are wanting to, I can feel it, you want to make this change. There is a global thing happening, a global change happening where people are waking up and going, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. It's time for me to step into my purpose. And that's what today is all about. We're going to make this a little bit longer. Kathy, I know it's late for you, but I want to make this quite a long one. So it's a special, we might go for an hour, see how we go. But I really want to to share this with you, because it's been a real aha for me this year, 2018. My word for this year is limitless, and it certainly is popping up for me. You know, that the power of creating that one word for your one word theme for your year is so important, and it's showing up big time for me at the moment. So let's get into this. I've got 5 or 6. I've got pages and pages of notes, so I'm going to not throw this at you. You might want to have a pen and paper handy if you've got, because there's some things coming up in a minute that you might want to write some notes about. All right. So in the Facebook Live we did a couple of weeks ago, we actually did, and if you haven't seen that, I might put a link in here afterwards if you haven't seen that. I can't remember what it was, maybe 5-6 weeks ago maybe. We did an exercise where I asked you to imagine what it was like for you when you're about 4 years old, and if you were left to play by yourself in imaginary play, what were the things that you would most gravitate towards? And for many people on that show, the words popping up. Okay, yeah, okay, yep, good idea, Kathy. It's going to sit on the page anyway, so you'll be able to come back and find this later. What are you doing in your imaginary play? We come into the world knowing what our purpose is. And when we're children left in imaginary play, we play that out. And you might, if you have children, have seen it with your own children. I know with my 3, it's interesting, isn't it? With my 3 children, I can actually go back and see now how their imaginary play when they were little is actually transposing into the work they're doing now. My son, in particular, used to walk around the backyard talking to himself, and he'd come in and he'd draw things, and he'd always have a story in his mind. And, of course, now he's a video editor and producer for a large YouTube company. And you can see just how that transposed from when he was a little child to what he's doing now. And my middle daughter is a journalist, and she used to come home from school, and she'd always have, Mum, you'll never guess what happened today. And we make a joke of it now. Whenever she's got something to tell me at home, I would say, should I pour a cup of tea or a glass of wine? Because it would be this long story. Well, she's now a journalist and a producer for CBC in Canada and has her own podcast. And then my youngest was always dancing. We put the music on, and this child would just dance. And at the time, I was a fitness instructor. And when she was little, she was about 18 months old. No, actually, it was when she was born. Still working there. But when she was about 18 months old, we'd go into the gym, and I'd be rewinding my tapes back in those days. Rewind my tapes in the car on the way, to hit the spot for the music I wanted to start the class in. And she would be dancing in her car seat. And then if we got to a particular song and she wanted to play, she'd point to it. That one. And now, of course, she's a dancer and works in that field. So we kind of know this, but as we get older, we forget, because we may have grown up in a family where you weren't encouraged to express through your purpose. You maybe have, morning, Melissa, thank you for being here. Thank you so much. That's lovely. Takes a little longer these days, just quietly, to be camera ready, must say. So when you were growing up, you may have grown up in a family where your purpose wasn't encouraged. Maybe you grew up in a family where academics was more important, or that kind of achieving was really important in school, and so you begin to lose this kind of memory. So if you go back and look at that Facebook Live, you'll find that if you haven't done this already, you'll find that exercise on that Facebook Live. And I said, I'll pop it in here later on. When you're in that zone, it's about finding the words that express it. So I remember, Sandy, can you remember what it was for you? I know you were on the call that day, and I know Louise was too. Debbie, you might have been on that call too, where we did that exercise. And I asked you to come up with words to describe what it is. So if you can remember what it was, just pop it in. So for anybody else on the call today can kind of get an understanding of what I'm talking about. Now, for me, when I did that exercise a number of years ago, what came up for me was teaching, inspiring, and entertaining. I was always, and when I was in my imaginary play, I always have my dolls lined up and I'd be teaching them things. Like a teacher, or I'd be teach. Yeah, I remember that, Louise. Yours was teach, wasn't it? And entertaining and inspiring. I was always this kind of rah-rah person standing on the sidelines. We play a lot of netball, and I'd be always encouraging everybody else. So interesting enough that's what I do now. That's my purpose. Now, when you're actually in your soul's purpose, I want to explain a little bit about this. Your soul's purpose is who you are. Your life's purpose is how you express. So it's the what you do. And the life purpose changes. Happy, yeah. Helping others, right. Yep. Happy, yeah, that's right. I remember yours. Sandy, yes. Happy. Interesting. I can really see that in you, Sandy. That happy, you want to spread happiness. I can see that in you too. And Debbie, this really shows what you're doing right now, right? The helping others. But when you're that life purpose, I'll go back to that. The life purpose changes. Your soul's purpose, so which is whatever those couple of words are to describe, changes when you're in the what as you move further into your life. As you evolve, your life purpose evolves as well. Mine was happy too. Yeah, that's right, Kathy. So, and as we evolve, our life purpose evolves. So what I was doing, my 15 years of teaching fitness, that was my soul's purpose. I was expressing through that, teaching, inspiring people to stay fit and get healthy and entertaining. Wearing a pair of G-string leotards in front of me, standing in front of a class, entertaining in the best possible way, as you know. But that was, but as I moved forward in my life, there was ups and downs when I lost focus, lost sight of that soul's purpose, to getting to the point where I evolved, continued to do the inner work, and now doing what I do now. And when you're in your working with your soul's purpose and in a life purpose, as at that level of your involvement, you are in what Gay Hendricks, the author of The Big Leap, calls your zone of genius. Now, the difference between zone of genius and zone of excellence is your zone of excellence is what you do very, very well. Everybody will say to you, gosh, you're good at that. I know when I was working at the school and I was the director of community relations for a school, a job I loved for 10 years, people used to tell me I was very good at it. You're really good at this. Yes, I am. I could do it like this. I didn't have to think about it. Did it inspire and fill me up? No. I loved it. It was good and I was good at it. But your zone of genius is when work becomes just an extension of you. There is no switching on and switching off. It's just you. That's your zone of genius. Time can stand still. I know many times when I'm writing, whether it's blogs, whether I'm writing programs, whether I'm writing books, there's many times that I have no idea what's going on around me. And many times I'm writing, I'm very aware that I am in co-creation, very aware. Zone of genius, very much zone of co-creation. Writers will talk about it. Now, I listened to a wonderful interview with Carol Bayer Sager, who wrote, amongst many other wonderful songs, The Prayer. And you may remember The Prayer. Just beautiful. Andre Bocelli and Celine Dion did it beautifully. And she talks about in this interview, she wrote their words to that song in 30 minutes. 30 minutes. But she just knew, she said at the end of it, that I had written a song that was going to be a hit song. And it's one of the only 3 songs in the world that are sung both at funerals and or at weddings. So one is Wing Beneath the Wings. The other one is Alleluia. And this one, The Prayer. So in that zone of genius, when you know you're in co-creation, magic just happens. So when you're looking at your soul's purpose and how you can actually monetize it, You're looking at what it is that makes my heart sing. Now, I'm going to do some practical things right now. So it's okay to have, teaching, inspiring, happy, all that stuff. But what does that mean practically? And I've done a number of points that you might be able to resonate with. So, for instance, if you're good at listening, you know that that's a real skill you have, and you love listening to people. Counseling is a wonderful way that you can express that soul's purpose into your life purpose. And just quietly, there are not enough people in this world that are good listeners. And many people, and I know when I was doing a lot of counseling work, people just were able to share and speak and say things to me that they wouldn't say to other people. And it was simply because I gave them space to listen. So if you're good at listening, if you've seen that as helping people, counseling is just a great way of expressing that. If you're good at inspiring people to take action, coaching. If you're good at design, and we've just launched a brand new website that I just am so excited about. And the young girl I was working with, Haley, magic. She was ability to take my garbled blah, blah, blah brief and create a website of absolute beauty. I just love. And so if you're good at that, how can you support others? Because, wow, other people are willing to pay you. Are you good at organizing? Have you always been the organizer in your family, helping people create order? If you're good at leadership, how can you support others in a direct selling organization? Because, once you move up the ranks of those direct selling organizations, I work with a number of people in direct selling organizations, and as they go up the ranks, it's the leadership that other people are really needing. Are you good at writing? Is that what you love? Write a book, design a program that can help others. Are you good at numbers? I met a woman yesterday who's an absolute whiz at numbers, loves it. I'm like, oh my gosh. But, you can help other people make sense of their finances. Are you good at sales? Teaching other people how to sell and achieve what they want. Are you good at teaching? What can you teach that others most need to learn? If you're good at art, how can you share that gift? How can you teach others to paint? How can you share your love of art to make other people's homes look beautiful? If you're good at performing, how can you use your purpose to entertain and inspire others? And some terrific, motivational speakers at the moment who I follow a lot. Julie Cross is one of them. She's just a wonderful way of performing and sharing her absolute soul's purpose, which is entertaining people and actually helping people feel motivated. So remembering that your soul's purpose is who you are, so those 3 words or 4 words that describe what you love to do, your life purpose is what you do with that. And, it's time to step up. I keep thinking, isn't it time you began to do what it is you came to this planet to do? And we're at the stage in our lives, for many of you who are on this call, we've lived life. We've made mistakes. We have wisdom now that brings a whole essence of difference to what it is we do with our lives. So let's look at some of the reasons why. So these are some of the things you can do. Experiment with those, ask the questions. But let's look at the reason why it's so difficult to express your soul's purpose. Number 1 is you can find it by looking at the patterns of your life. And in particular, finding the patterns, the things that keep repeating, that the most challenging times of your life have expressed. Now, when I was doing this exercise, I had been through a particularly challenging time in my life. Of course, I go straight to tapping, meditation, asking the right questions, asking divine, my great spirit, okay, what was it I need to see right now? What am I missing? It takes a while sometimes to find that up and get over it. What I found was when I was able to be quiet and still and open to the ideas, that I found a pattern a very, very old pattern that I had kept playing out, not like yearly, but over a span of about 30 years I had done this. And when I started to link the pattern, I could see that that's surprisingly where my purpose was. It's just that I was giving it away to people and then getting upset because feeling that people would just forget about what I'd done for them and gone off and stolen my ideas. It wasn't until I realized that's what my purpose was. Not for people to steal my ideas. My purpose was to inspire others to find their soul's purpose, to create businesses out of it. And when I finally got it, it was like this huge, oh my God, I've been playing out my soul's purpose all my life. The problem was I was playing in their playground because I wasn't confident enough in my own. And that's what I was saying to you about as you move through this, as you evolve, your life's purpose changes. You know, back in the days, and I share this story, was one of the patterns was in the fitness industry, and I had created a program called Intuitive Eating, and I was kind of it was a program called Super Body. I don't know where I came up with that name, but anyway, I came up with this name called Super Body, and it was actually one of the first times that back in those days we introduced weights in classes. Like it's now, you know, very mainstream to use weights in classes. Back then. Sandy, yay, Sandy always gets ahas on the call, love it. Can't wait for you to share it. Back in those, and I was the one that first introduced weights in classes. Now, everybody started copying my idea. We got media on it, all that type of, and I was really peeved until I realized that was my purpose. My purpose was to introduce new ideas, but then as I evolved out of that, that wasn't my job to stay in it. Is it making sense to you guys? It wasn't my job to stay in it. My job was to inspire others. Yeah, challenge from it, right? My job was to inspire others to have somebody else take that, and that was their playground, because it wasn't any, as it turned out, you know, I can look at it in hindsight, going back, our son was just diagnosed with autism not long after that, and I wasn't able to continue to do that because my change had to be focused on him. Is this making sense? So you can look back through the patterns of your life and see where you felt someone had stolen ideas from you, didn't take any notice of you, people that took the glory for your ideas. Go back and find that, because maybe your purpose was to get them to somewhere or that business to somewhere, but that wasn't your life's purpose. You're playing in the wrong playground. Another thing about that, and I'm going to be brutally honest here, what I'd done was align myself with people who made me feel that I was validated. Made me feel I was validated. It was just such an aha moment for me that I went, oh, now what I do in my coaching is exactly that. What I do in my coaching is I go find, when I'm working with people, what their purpose is. I can see it. I've done it all my life. Oh, that's a big long one, Sandy. I'm going to show it though. Let's see where it's going to cover everything, but let's read it. I want to read this. It appears at the same time every year I go through December, which pulls me back, and I spend the rest of the year building myself back up again. So now I have to ask the question, because I haven't been asking why it's so hard at this time of the year, why I struggle so much. What am I not doing? Yes. Whoa. Now, here's the thing, Sandy. What I would look at is same time every year. So find that same time every year. See if you can link the patterns about the same time. Keep going back. Is it like when it's at school, as it got to the end of second term? Because that's what's happening in Australia, right? We're getting to the end of second term. So see if you can find what that is, because you'll find the aha. If you're willing to do the inner work, and I have to say, go through the pain. It's not easy. And when I'm working with my coaching clients, especially ones on the 6-month program, the long-term program, we go through some really challenging times, I have to say. But I often say to my clients, I'm not letting you go on this one. I'm not going. Night, Kathy. Well, I look forward to your comments later. Thank you for being on. Kathy's in England, by the way, so it's very late there. I'm not going to let you go. If I can find your purpose, I'm not letting you go until I can help you expand this to make it a business. Because what is the point, people, of having this purpose if you don't do anything with it? And every soul's purpose, every life purpose has a marketable way you can take it to the market to make an income from it. Because what is the point if you are hiding this light? And it was like this. What's amazing is when you get this, I feel like I'm preaching. Sorry, guys. Maybe Sunday. Maybe it's Sunday. I know it's only Friday, so Saturday morning here, but I feel like I'm preaching. But I'm really passionate about this because the world needs us, and interesting enough, I don't know if anybody knew, but in Australia, the government released its budget, and they're actually there is a fund for women over the age, or people, I should say women, over the age of 45 who want to start businesses. So they're even recognizing the strength and the wisdom that comes with this. I don't know what that is at the moment. We're waiting. Who knows? Might be 2050 by the time it comes in. So where is it? Where is that pattern that you were hiding? I just can't find my number 3 note. Oh, marketable. That's right. That's what I was going through all those things. Okay. How are we doing? Have I got everybody with me? Is everybody still going, aha? Hallelujah. Hallelujah, right, man. Yes. I really, I realize now, isn't it funny, when you start to understand the pattern, I get so excited when when I find people's soul's purpose. I get them all riled up. I was so excited. And they run off with this thing and I go, oh, hang on a minute, what about me? And I realize, oh my God, that's my purpose. That was my purpose. So exciting. I get really excited. And you know what? What happens is when you're in this zone of genius and you're loving what you do, you just feel lighter and more energetic. Everyone wants a piece of me right now, right? Interesting, Louise. That can really happen. So I would be looking for you. Everybody wants a piece of me right now. Where have you been allowing that to happen without the boundaries? So I would look at where your life purpose is in there. I've got some real ahas coming to me at the moment. I might send you a message later on. You are the keys to unlocking the door. Yeah, so everyone wants a piece of me. Okay. Is it, Louise, that you solve problems? You're very good at solving problems. People rely on your leadership to solve problems. Just look around that. Just see if there's something there that resonates in our hearts. Okay, Sandy, you are the keys to unlocking everyone's doors. Oh, me. You're writing to me. About me. I am the key. Yeah, actually, I should have a key. Oh, well, next week I'll show you the website and explain about that. But yes, amazing things happening on there. Boundaries. What are they? And Louise, I would be looking at where you don't feel comfortable in creating those boundaries. There'd be something in there. You know where to find that. You know where to find that. That where is that boundaries? I just did a whole lot of media this week on Mother's Day. One of the things I talked about Mother's Day was it's a time for us to realign our own self-care and what we're doing. And we can't be there for everybody else if we have nothing left. So, Louise, you know where to find it. I know you do. Okay, we're going to keep going. Right. Where are we going? Oh, how are we doing for time? Good. I want to share with you one simple habit that will make all the difference to your success. And when I first heard this, I went, what? I'm not doing that. but I have to tell you, it's the one thing that has truly made an enormous difference. And that is, if things are not flowing in your life, is to ask yourself the question, and this is a Marianne Williamson quote from her book, Return to Love, to ask yourself the question, who have you not forgiven? Who are you still carrying a grudge? And so in her book, Return to Love, she challenges you to forgive the one person who is causing you the most grief. Second part of that is to wish them happiness in their journey. Now, the first time I read that, I went, why should I? No. They've done this and they've done that. And then she said, why would you want to live in toxicity and anger that is just about you? The weight of it just about you. When we don't forgive others and let them free to live their own life, we get stuck in their stuff. We get stuck. So if you're not moving forward in your business at the moment, if you are not resonating with that soul's purpose, lots of resistance. I know, Louise. I know. I went, why should I? They're blah, 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 blah. And look at they're doing blah, 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 blah. And they've done this terrible thing to me. And why should, and I thought, and when it just, when you just get this, what's the point of hanging on to it? It's not they're off doing their own thing. I'm stuck in why me, and it's not fair. And so I did this exercise one morning, and I'm now doing it every morning. Who do I need to forgive? And who do I need to wish? Sandy. Who do I need to forgive? And who do I need to wish happiness to on their journey? Remember, your soul's purpose is your soul's purpose. Your life's purpose is your life's purpose. But if you're playing in somebody else's playground, you'll never achieve what it is that you are here to achieve. We all have a reason for being here. Oh, nice smile. I love that. Currently writing letters to everyone who's hurt me in my life and then burning them. So powerful. Oh, yes. That is such a powerful process. Well done. Yep. That is so good. Maybe me too. Yeah, good. Absolutely. Maybe me too. Yep. It is so powerful. So every day in my practice, in my daily practice, so I have a daily practice. As many of you know, I meditate for 20 minutes and then I work out for half an hour, and then I journal and tap, and I add on now on my journaling those who I've not yet forgiven. And it was just an extraordinary week this week when I really put that effort in. Your whole way of looking at what you are doing, your life's purpose, it just makes so much sense. You get out of that competition, you get out of worrying what other people are doing, you get out of thinking about other people because you've forgiven them, as hard as it is. As I said, the first time I went, why should I? Yes, absolutely. Forgive ourselves. That's so important. Our judgments of each other, because we judges of ourselves, rather. And we talked about this last week on the Facebook Live. Where you're judging others, where you're judging yourself. So forgive yourself for not picking up. I realized too in my journey that I've really missed the signs many times that have been there because I've been so caught up in other stuff. And so forgiving yourself for that is, powerful. You can begin to live a new life anytime you want. Right now you can. forgive the past, move on, heal it, go back, pull off that emotional attachment to it, and forgive and just move forward. And it is so powerful, so powerful. So, if things aren't flowing, if you have something in your life there's a block, you've put an intention out there, you've got your vision board. I'm going to go back to, all the stuff we talked about at the beginning of this year. Your vision board, very important. Your word for the year, very important, because those are the things that keep you moving. It's very important not to get really hung up on just doing meditation, just doing tapping, just doing visual. It's a package. You have to keep moving. But if you're moving and you're coming up against the blocks, just ask, who haven't I forgiven yet? What am I still hanging on to? Maybe nothing, but you're asking the question. So yes, move that forgiveness to the next level. Great. Thanks, Mel, for that. It's fantastic. The next one, how are you all doing, by the way? Is there some ahas happening here? Have we got a list of people you need to forgive that you could be your project for the next 30 days? Oh, lovely. Going to make a vision board today. Yeah, look, and Mel, we talk about this a lot. Your vision board is so important because it's visual. Mine sits right behind my computer. So I'm looking at it every single day. Pictures are very specific to what I want, very specific. I've actually downloaded, I don't cut things out of magazines, I download them. Very specific to what I want. And it's interesting that one of them actually came true. So I had to change it, up the ante. Happens really quickly. So creating that visualization, so your attention truly aligned, you're staying focused, you're doing those habits, we're covering the 2 and 20 principle, those habits that you do all the time. And then just keep moving. Move to the space of co-creation. What is it I need to see? What do I need to hear? Where am I going? What am I doing? I'm just checking my notes, make sure I've got everything that we've been talking about today. So I'm just going to go on to number 5 now, your early warning system. But I do want to say this, if you are challenged in any direction and you really want to spend a powerful day with me, finding your soul's purpose, figuring out how to incorporate in your life purpose so you can make an income from it. I have opened up 4 spots. It's all I've got this week for a chat and to work with me for a day. I have been doing these VIP strategies, VIP coaching sessions now for about 12 months. And the stuff that we shift in a day is extraordinary. I'm just going to pop that up. So if you are interested in finding out more about having a VIP coaching day, there is the link. I'm going to pop it in the thing, and you can find out a little more about how you can spend a day with me. We spend a day. So we work on your soul's purpose. We then manifest how's that manifest into your life purpose. We look at anywhere where blocks are coming up. So we do some tapping and some meditation, a few other things. So if you're interested, just pop on, have a look at, we can have a chat about it on that link, and that we can look at how I can help you find how to monetize your purpose without losing your soul. Okay, I'm just going to pop the link down here where it is. And a lot of people commenting this morning. I can find a place for me to put my comment. Okay, I'm just going to pop it down here, so it's a clickable link as well. All right, I'm going to move on to number 5 now. And I was on a fabulous teleseminar this week with a very dear friend of mine, and she reminded me of something that I actually had forgotten about. And it's about setting up your early warning system to help remind you that A, you are co-creating, and B, you're on track. And that's to find a way that the universe, God, divine, great spirit, whatever you want to call it, that being that you resonate with, is sending you a message. And I'd forgotten all about this. And she reminded me of things. One of the things you can do is feathers, is to look where you can see feathers. Now, that mightn't be just feathers on the ground. Could be a bird, could be a drawing, could be seeing a photo or something. You know, feathers are very in at the moment with earrings. But to ask that be your early warning system, that your early warning signal, that you know you're on path, you know you're creating whenever you see feathers. Now, I want to share a story about this. So I listened to this teleseminar with my lovely friend Tiff, and she was telling me about feathers and she was talking about feathers, and she was talking about how she found them. She found the feathers, dropping someone at the airport, and she was going to change her tact about, what's the sign I see now. And she dropped someone at the airport, and there was a feather on the ground. So anyway, I'm thinking, okay, because I often find feathers when I'm walking. And she said, don't look for just feathers on the ground, but, where there's a feather. Anyway, I was on a call, and you wouldn't believe it. There's a moth just flown with the biggest feathers on it. Just flown on. Where the heck did that come from? There you go. Anyway, back to my story. I was on a call with a client last week, on Wednesday it was, just after I'd had this call with Tiffany. And I happened to look up, and sitting on our pool fence, we've got a glass pool fence, would have to have been the biggest blackbird I had ever seen. It was enormous. It had to have been, oh gosh, I don't know, about 2 foot tall. It was enormous. I'd never seen a bird this big. And I'm looking at it. Immediately, feathers came to my mind. Whoa, was that ever a message? But that bird sat there for 20 minutes. Now, because I was on a call, I couldn't take a photo of it. I wish I'd do something else, but because I was on a call. But the thing about it was I was thinking about doing something, and this bird's head turned to its side and just looked at me with its head on the side for 20 minutes. Kept looking at me, didn't move. And I'm like, whoa, that is amazing. How incredible is that? So I challenge you this week, find something that you want to be reminded of when you're co-creating. What is that? Is it feathers? It might be a penny, a cent. It might be a song. It might be a color. Every time you see the color, just to remind you, so ask the divine, the universe, God, whatever that being that exists for you and how you express it, to remind you when you're actually in flow and co-creating. And also to remind you when you're not. When you're out. Okay. So feathers this week. Let me know how you go this week with feathers or colors or songs or anything else. All right. How are we doing, everybody who's still on? Have we got some ahas happening, some things going on? I would love, as I said, if you were really struggling at the moment, I'd love you to book in a session with me, Heather, and I can help you. It's just, as I said, it just fills my heart when I am working with wonderful people, women in particular, who are on this path and are wanting to express their true soul's purpose, because our children are watching. How can you tell them to live their best lives if we are not doing it? And I think I mentioned on last week's show, having adult children now, when they ask you a question about their career or life, I'm very aware of not telling them what to do, but showing them what to do through me doing it. I do my lives every Saturday morning. Mel, every Saturday morning, 7:30 this time is when we do our lives. So you can always find me here. Now, they're usually half an hour, but I'm going a little bit longer today just because we're going to do a tapping session in a minute. But just because this is I am so passionate I heard the words at the start of the week, nobody's right, nobody's wrong, and nobody's perfect. Ooh, I love that. I love that. Yes, nobody's right, nobody's wrong, nobody's perfect. And the other one is, I don't want to add to that, Sandy, is that one of the things that that came to me this week is, I'm not broken and neither is anybody else. You're not broken and neither is anybody else. All we are is on a journey. And the challenges, sometimes our greatest lessons have to come through the pain of challenge. Marianne Williamson says you can either learn through joy or pain. Most of us learn through pain for some reason. You can learn through joy, apparently. I haven't found that one yet. Most of us learn through pain. So it's about finding what your purpose is. It's there. You are here for a reason. It is sometimes we've been off path due to the patterns and people of the past. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Beth. That's very nice. Thank you. Thank you for your joy. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you so much. I do. I'm one of these people. I do. I must say, I always see the glass half full. Always have. Always found, no matter what the drama is, eventually I pull my socks up. I'm actually married to somebody who sees the opposite. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just they see the opposite. I see this. That makes it the yin and the yang, isn't it? The yin and the yang. Oh, yes, it was painful for my children. I hear. Yeah. And so, that's where, Sandy, we need to be absolutely whole, as whole as we can be, continually the evolution of ourselves, continually evolving. The best, one of the most, I want to find the word that describes this. Perhaps the most meaningful moment for me ever, after I'd done a lot of inner work and EFT work, was to call each of my children and ask them to tell me what was where I'd gone wrong. What was the things that they felt that I wasn't there for them. And the three gorgeous children all said, "No, Mum, no, you were fantastic." And I said, "No, I need to know. I need to know, where I perhaps wasn't whole and present for you." And it was really interesting what they said when they opened up about the times when I wasn't, the whole mum I could have been and perhaps did things in stress. And it wasn't about being right or wrong. It wasn't about them blaming or me wallowing. I was able to say, "I'm so sorry." That was where I was at the time, and the relationships changed. And I'm very, very mindful of that. Yeah. Absolutely, Beth. Absolutely. The healing begins with the recognition of the pain. So true. So true. So true. So owning that and just working self through it. You're not going to get stuck in this forever. You're able to push your way through it. As one of my clients said to me yesterday, she said, "It's amazing now how I recognize language in others, when I realize the language now that other people say, and it's creating their own reality." So, been a fabulous call. Thank you so much, everybody who stayed on, and for those I know who are listening to this later, because it's a little late for my people, my peeps in England and Scotland, and also I know for many people in the Pacific, they are still working on Pacific time. It's 2:30, no, 3:30 in the afternoon. So, for all of them, for all of you, if you are really ready to step into that power, remember that I love to help you on a VIP coaching day. We spend all day mapping out what it is you want, finding your purpose, finding ways to achieve it, and best of all, clearing any limiting beliefs and blocks that are holding it back. It's just patterns. That's all it is. You clear those, and it's just wonderful. You can move. Alrighty, let's do a tapping session just to finish off with. If you're new, my new Saturday morning. Oh, thank you, Mel. It'll be lovely to have you here. As I said, we don't normally go for an hour, usually half an hour, but we're going to do some tapping to finish off with, because it's Mother's Day tomorrow. So happy Mother's Day to everybody on the call. I have a Mother's Day with no children. All my three wonderful, confident, world-exploring children, adult children are all not here. So this is it's actually my second Mother's Day without my children around. So I hope they call. Pretty sure they will. Hope they call. We had a thing in this house. I only wanted their presents on Mother's Day, not their presents. So I'm not fussed on present. You know, I want them to call me and speak with me. We've always done that. You know, going for a picnic or a bushwalk. So if you are happy Mother's Day. Yes, if you wherever you are, have a happy Mother's Day. Let's do a tapping session now. I want to do something about just being present. Just being present. So we'll just do a really quick little one because we're 20 at the hour. For those of you who are maybe on the call and never done tapping before, a wonderful energy psychology technique. You can hop on my website and find out more. But in the meantime, you can just follow us if you want. So let's go. Even though sometimes I miss the messages and I'm not always present, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though sometimes I need to forgive myself for the times I missed the messages, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. One more time. Even though I know there's a few people I have to forgive, I'm not 100% sure I'm ready yet. I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Tapping. Sometimes I miss the messages. Maybe I need to forgive myself. I've missed so many patterns. Forgiving myself can be hard. Sometimes I'm not present. Sometimes I get caught up in the past. Sometimes I get caught up in the pain of the past and I don't see the lessons. Okay, we're going to go straight into a reframe round. I choose to stay in the present moment. I choose to forgive myself. I choose to be present. I choose to begin releasing the pain of the past. I choose to forgive myself and all those who I should forgive now, so I can expand my purpose. I choose to be present. I choose to forgive myself and everybody else. Okay, just take a deep breath and let it go. Now, look at the I am statements from that. How can you create the I am statements? Remember, the words that follow I am follow you. So words as I am present and whole. I am forgiving and loving. I am stepping into my soul's purpose. I choose to be all I can be. And just take a deep breath and let it go. All right, now I'm really interested to know this week how you go. As Louise just said, looking for feathers. Just be mindful of it. Just put that in your mind. The feathers, they're always there. Remember, we talk about frequency evolution a lot. The minute you set your mind, your intention on something, you'll suddenly see it everywhere. So every time you see a feather this week, bless it. Thank you to my divine spirit for being with me. What am I not seeing? Who do I need to forgive? Am I stepping into my soul's purpose? Okay, thank you very much, everybody. It's been lovely having you, and I hope you have the most wonderful Mother's Day. Wherever you are, be present with your children. If you can't be with your children, to just enjoy the day, to just be present and find ways in which you can be who you are. That's the world needs now, for you to reclaim your extraordinary self and be brilliant. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk soon. Bye. Feathers, how did I miss that? Wonderful, Sandy. Talk soon. Bye, everybody.